New Olympus, written by Matthew Nicholson. Act 1. Interior, Pandora house, Liz's bedroom, evening. Young Elizabeth, Liz Payne, 10, curious and headstrong, jolts awake in her bed. Her eyes dart to the closed door.
Mommy, I had the dream again.
Young Amelia, Mrs. P. Payne, 35, equal parts Betty Crocker and badass, slips inside and fixes the covers on Lynn's twin bed. Mrs. P. lays next to her daughter and rests the mythic Pandora's box, ageless, small and wooden, in her lap.
Did the Sandman give you another nightmare?
About the apocalypse.
I bet your favorite bedtime story wouldn't help, would it?
Eyeing the box, young Liz cuddles up to her mother. Mrs. P. launches into a story she's told hundreds of times before.
Worse than you on Christmas Eve. Our ancestor Pandora wanted to know what was in this box so badly.
The box grumbles. Young Liz giggles.
The day she opened it, untold evils were unleashed into the world. Plagues, monsters, darkness, things that didn't yet have a name.
Young Liz gasps, then yawns.
But the brave woman in our family swore to put everything Pandora released back into the box and protect it from anyone who may wish to ever open it again.
Young Liz places her hands over her mother's on the box. It glows softly. Liz's fingers tingle with magic.
Do you think I'll make a good Pandora?
One day, but not tonight.
Young Liz groans. The box mimics her and glows brighter.
When the time does come, we'll have a big ceremony with all your favorite foods and a special dress. It'll be perfect. Just like you.
Young Liz nods off to sleep. Mrs. P. tucks her in and slips out, leaving the glowing box as a nightlight. Young Liz opens one eye to see Mrs. P. leave and reaches over to hold the box.
Don't worry, P.B. I'll make sure no one steals you and tries to start apocalypse.
Interior, Liz's NYC apartment, morning. Super. 15 years later. Somewhere in a sea of moving boxes, a cell phone rings and vibrates. Startled, Liz, now 25, almost drops the cardboard box in her hands. The call goes to voicemail. Movers carry out all of Liz's boxes. She finds her phone and sees a missed call message from home. Liz shoves the phone into her back pocket and puts on a raggedy leather jacket. It's a little big on her, but looks great. With one last look back at her old apartment, Liz places her hand on the door frame. There's a large and noticeable rent past due notice plastered on the front of the door.
You win. This wasn't my path.
Interior, Pandora house, kitchen, morning. Halloween decorations clutter the house. With the phone propped on her shoulder, Mrs. P., now 50, opens the oven. Her right arm is in a cast and sling. She takes a lasagna out of the oven with her free hand and drops it on the stovetop.
Elizabeth, it's Mom. Big day. I'm just confirming you're on your way home for the ceremony. I made your favorite for dinner. Call me back.
Mrs. P. slips the phone into an apron pocket and brushes her hand off. Pandora's box rocks violently on the counter. She strokes it with her hand like it's the family pet.
I'm worried about Liz coming home too. But that's not it, is it?
Bam! Something slams into the front door. Mrs. P. quickly tosses a kitchen towel over Pandora's box. It responds with an audible sigh. Expecting Liz, she hurries to the door and whips it open. But no one's there. Exterior, Pandora house, porch, continuous. Looking down, Mrs. P. picks up the thrown newspaper with a full-page ad for a corn maze event called Scares for Tots. She catches the eye of a store-bought scarecrow posted across the street. It appears to leer at her. Transfixed, Mrs. P. stares back. Its head eerily swivels in her direction.
That's the last thing I need today.
Mrs. P. rushes back into the house and slams the door shut.